Hey guys, so I'm just going to start off by apologizing for not uploading as consistently as I had told you guys I would. I know my last upload was right after Valentine's Day, so I do apologize. I have filmed this video about 3 other times before, but I ran into so many difficulties trying to edit it and upload it. I made a whole post about it on my Tumblr that I'll link you guys in the description so you can read all about it, so I don't have to take up the entire intro with just, you know, telling you about technical stuff. So getting right on into it, this video I will be talking about arguably the most anticipated product of 2017, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Nicole Guerrieo Glow Kit. The first time I tried filming this video was actually March 2nd, so that'll just, you know, let you know exactly how long I've been trying to get this video out. So it was going to be a first impressions, but being as I have already filmed this video about 3 times, I do already have an impression of the palette. So from this video you can expect me to talk about the formula and how it performs on fairer skin types. More so how it performs compared to the formula though. So if you guys are interested in that, just keep on watching. Getting right on into it, I do want to put a huge congratulations out to Nicole Guerrieo for actually doing this collaboration. I know that Anastasia doesn't really collab with a lot of YouTubers, so I think that Nicole really opened the door for a bunch of us to collab with bigger brands, so I thank and congratulate her for that. Right off the bat, I was super impressed by the packaging. Now, I know the camera doesn't pick up all of the fine details, but this thing is just covered in like sparkles along with the holographic letters on the bottom. I know some of the other glow kits do have like sparkles on them, but the sparkles on this one, they're just so much bigger and like more noticeable than the sparkles on any of the other palettes. The palette itself comes in this little slip, and both the slip and the palette itself have the ingredients and pan sizes on the back of them. So speaking of pan sizes, I did bring 2 other glow kits out to do some comparisons. This one is my Moonchild glow kit, which I have tons of experience with because it's like the only highlight I used up until this point. And this is my sister's Sun Dipped palette. Now, I did say my sister, so I don't really know a lot about this palette. I'm just borrowing it from her for the video. Although I did think it would be a good idea to compare the Moonchild glow kit to it because it is another 6-pan palette and it does have some blues in it, and this one does have a bluish color in it, so I know some people were curious about that. So right off the bat, size-wise, you can definitely tell that the Nicole Guerrieo kit is definitely bigger than the Moonchild one. In fact, in the Nicole Guerrieo kit, you do get an ounce more product per pan compared to the Moonchild glow kit. This one, you get 16 ounces per pan, and this one, you do get 15. In the Nicole Guerrieo one, the pans are circular, whereas in the Moonchild kit, they are square. Although I was reading the back of the 4-pan palette, and these pans obviously are a lot bigger. You get 26 ounces per pan in this palette compared to these 2. When you open this palette, when you first open it, you do notice that the shades itself, you can see little, I'm not sure if the camera will pick this up, but you can see glitter reflex in the pan. Whereas if you open up the Moonchild one, you do see some reflex, but it's not as glittery as the Nicole Guerrieo one. The same goes with this one. This one's really beat up. She uses this one a lot. You do see the metallic look, but you do not really see full reflex of glitter. So one of my first concerns about this palette was that it looked so glittery. I was afraid it was going to be chunky, but upon swatching it, you do learn that these are not chunky at all. These are in fact the most buttery highlights I have used in my life. Just like, look at that. Like, it doesn't look glittery on the hand at all. In fact, it looks more metallic than anything. And in my opinion, I do think it is more pigmented than both of them. I will just do a quick little comparison for you. My index finger will be the Nicole Guerrieo one, my middle finger will be the Moonchild one, and my ring finger will be the Sun Dipped one. This one is the Nicole Guerrieo, This one is the Moonchild, and this one is Sun Dipped. Just looking at my monitor, which isn't the best monitor in the world, I can definitely tell that this one, the Nicole Guerrieo one, is more, it looks more reflective and it just looks more metallic and wet. However, a concern with more creamy buttery palettes is they are softer, so they are easier to break, I was very afraid of this coming broken in the mail because I saw so many pictures on Twitter and Instagram of this palette becoming just showing up broken. I was so afraid. This one, however, I have dropped it like a million times and it has not broken, so having I just said that, it will probably shatter the next time I drop it. So like I was saying, this palette, while it's not necessarily not buttery, it's definitely not chunky, although it does not feel quite as smooth as the Nicole Guerrieo one. It's just, you can just see that it's easier to like swatch, I think, in my opinion. I definitely suggest when you're at Sephora just taking a swatch of it next time. Keep in mind that this is a Sephora exclusive, so you won't be able to find it at Ulta or another makeup store. So just by looking at this palette, I was a bit skeptical to buy it in the first place because, as we all know, I have super fair skin, and this definitely looks geared more towards tanner, darker, not fair skin tones. But you know, I realized I didn't really see a lot of swatches of this with fairer skin tones when I placed the order, because remember, I have actually had this since March 2nd, so at that point there weren't a lot of fair toned swatches really out there, so I figured I would buy it just to show you guys how it performed on fair skin tones. I'm going to get into that right now. I'm going to just swatch them all on my arm and just show you how they look. So first off, I will be going in with Kitty Cat. Kitty Cat is this very pretty pink. It reflects kind of gold, kind of silvery. I wouldn't necessarily call it a duochrome, but that is how it swatches. Now this is the shade Forever Young. This one is my favorite shade out of the palette. I have been wearing this one almost non-stop since I got it. It does look kind of dark on the skin tone, like it looks very, not necessarily dark, it does look like it would stand out on the skin tone, although when you put it on your face and blend it out, it is a very blinding silvery highlight, and honestly I am in love with it. This one is my absolute favorite one. It's the best. So far I showed you Kitty Cat right here, and this one is Forever Young. Next I'll be showing you Daydream, which is this orangey one right here. Now when I say orangey, I do mean orangey. I would not recommend using this as a highlight if you are fairer skin toned, just because I believe it would stand out a bit more. I've actually been a bit afraid to try it out on my face, so even after having this all month, I still wouldn't suggest using it as a highlight. I think it would perform a little better as a shadow just because of how orange it is. If you had a darker skin tone or like an olive skin tone, I do think that would be a pretty good color to use. Next, I'll be moving on to this shade right here, which is Forever Lit. When I saw all the pictures, this was the shade I was actually the most excited about. In the pan, it looks very blue, although on the finger, you can tell it's definitely not blue. It's more of like a pearly color, although I hope the camera picks it up. I hope you can see this color. I wouldn't really call the formula chunky, maybe a little powdery. It's got a very high color payoff. It looks kind of blue, kind of silvery, so I'm calling it like a pearl. I'm gonna get my hand in pretty close. I'm not sure if you can see, but right in here, the color did, like, the powder bunched up and became like super powdery, and I just like watched a flake of it fall off of my hand. So I would just say be careful, because looking at it right here, the product like stuck together on itself and the rest of it kind of spread out. So I would say be like a super blender when you apply that, because it might give you a bit of an issue on your face, although I have not used it on my face yet, so I cannot really give you that tip. I've only used Kitty Cat and Forever Young on my face, I'm sorry. Next, I will be showing you this color right here, which is Glow Getter. This is the lighter of the two golds in the palette. This color is gold with gold reflex. Now, this one I would also, if you're a fair skin tone, I would not suggest using this one as a highlight, I would suggest this one more as a shimmer eyeshadow, because while the color payoff and the color itself are stunning, I don't think it would be too flattering on a fair skin tone as a highlight. I think you'd run into the issue where your highlight would look darker or as dark as your contour. It might even clash with your blush a little bit, just, you know, that's just my opinion. Next I'll be moving on to the darkest shade in the palette, which is right here. This is shade 143. This is the darker of the gold, and this is super gold. Now, again, just like Glow Getter, I would definitely, if you're fair skin tone, 100% suggest not using this as a highlight. If you're super light-handed, you might be able to get away with it, but if you're like me, you don't really know what a light hand is, and everything you do is heavy-handed, so I would not suggest wearing this one as a highlight. This one would be definitely more of a shadow shade. So for highlighting wise, if you're a fairer skin tone, you get Forever Young, Kitty Cat, and Forever Lit. If you are darker skin tone, you'd get really all of them. If you're a deeper skin tone, I would suggest staying away from Forever Lit because it might be too blinding. Although if your preference is like shining bright like a diamond, you know, go for it. I'm not here to tell you what you can and can't do. Although if you are a fairer skin tone, I would suggest not using these three as a highlight. They would definitely go better as an eyeshadow shade. I'm going to now compare these to other highlights. So first off, a comparison I immediately thought of myself and have seen around a bit was Kitty Cat. Alright, so I have seen people comparing Kitty Cat to the Wet n Wild Omega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. Kitty Cat is more of a pinky color, and while this one definitely is a pink with gold reflex, Kitty Cat is more pink, so I'm just going to show you them side by side really quick. So the one on top, closer to my knuckles, this one is the Anastasia one, and the bottom one is the Wet n Wild one. You can see immediately that the colors are not the same. The Anastasia one is more pink and it does reflect a bit more. Compared side by side, the Wet n Wild one does look more gold with gold reflex, but it's like a peachy pink, not really a pink pink. And then also being said, the Wet n Wild one is more of a goldy color than the Daydream, where Daydream is definitely more orange. Next I'll be going into the blues, so I will put to you side by side Forever Lit, and then I'll be comparing them to Blue Ice and Blue Moon out of the Moonchild Glow Kit. Alright, so the top color, the one closest to my knuckles, that one is the Nicole Guerrieo one. This one is Forever Lit. I think I like this formula a lot better than the Moonchild one, because compared to it, the Blue Ice one does seem kind of, I wouldn't necessarily call it patchy, but I can definitely see my skin through it. It's got more of a purpley cast, and the one on the bottom is Blue Moon, where it looks more silvery violet to me. All three of them are very nice. My only complaint being that the ones from the Moonchild Glow Kit just seem a bit more patchy. I wouldn't really call them patchy, and the one from the Nicole Guerrieo one, it just flakes off of my hand like in clumps, which is one of the reasons why I've been afraid to try it on my face. I have seen some people compare Forever Young Glow Getter and 143 to the shades in the Sun Dipped palette, which is why I did take this from my sister. Forever Young, I'm going to compare that one to Tourmaline. Alright, so here you go. This one up top is Forever Young, and the one on bottom is Tourmaline. The one on bottom is completely darker compared to the Forever Young one. My sister is also fair skin tone, and she has barely touched that one. The only reason she hit pan on that one is because our cat clawed it. That one is much too dark for both of our skin tones, so the Forever Young one is one of the more light, fairer skin tone friendly shades. So right off the bat, you can tell these two are not the same, and they're really different. They do look kind of similar in the pan, but that's about it. Now, I've also seen people compare 143 to Bronze, so I will just do that one up for you really quick. While these two are closer in shade, Bronzed is definitely more dark than Tourmaline. Not Tourmaline. Bronze is definitely more dark than Glow Getter, and I would say that Glow Getter seems a lot more reflective. I am seeing some reflects off of Bronzed, but not a lot. My sister hasn't even touched bronze, so that one is very dark, definitely not fair skin tone friendly. Alright, so I will now show you how these perform on my face. Now, I will show you on one side how my favorite shade in here, Forever Young, performs, and on the other side, I will actually try Forever Lit for the first time on my face and just see how that goes. For this, I will be using a Sephora number 57 Pro Airbrush brush, and I'm just going to use that. So right there, this is Forever Young. I'm using the same brush, I just cleaned it off a little bit. I'll be putting Forever Lit over here. Look at this. This one is blinding. I wouldn't say it, you know, this wouldn't really be my go-to. Actually, it might be. This one's like, ooh. Ooh. It's not as clumpy on my face as it was on my hand, which is very nice. I do like how the light catches it, although it does seem a bit patchy just right here. I'm not really sure if the camera can pick that up. So once again, this side is Forever Young. And this side is Forever Lit. It definitely looks more blinding on this side just because Forever Lit is such a light color compared to Forever Young, or compared to anything really. All that being said, I think we can just move on over to final thoughts, shall we? So final thoughts, I adore this palette. It absolutely floored me. I get a lot more use out of this than I thought I would. I was afraid that I was going to get this and then not touch it until the summer when I was more tan, but I can actually use half of the palette now as regular everyday highlights, and I'll probably be able to use the other half of it later when I darken up in the summer. So I would definitely 100% suggest you go out and buy this no matter what type of skin, no matter what skin tone you are, because if you're on the fairer side, you can use half of it as your highlight, but the other half makes great eyeshadow. So you will be getting full use out of the palette, just not as a highlighting palette. And if you are a darker skin tone, the darker shades will be more of like a natural glow that's still like super blinding compared to these ones, which will be very bright and popping depending on how deep your skin tone is. The formula is super buttery, super creamy, very easy to blend out on your face and on your hands. It's definitely not chunky at all, which does kind of fool you looking at the pan itself. It's not chunky whatsoever. I love this. My favorite highlight was this was my go-to. Like, I had a couple other highlights that didn't really do it for me. Like, this one was like boom, way up there. This one though blew it out of the park. I have a new favorite. I'm constantly comparing them now, and I think like this one just pales in comparison compared to the Nicole Guerrieo one. I love how they look on the face. They look very wet, and this is just having them dry. Like, imagine putting this product on with a wet brush or over like set skin. Like, I just 100% go and buy it. It is a Sephora exclusive. You can get it on the Anastasia Beverly Hills website and on the Sephora website or in the Sephora stores. I recommend everyone get this palette. Like I said, I adore it. I cannot sing its praises high enough. And yes, that's the palette. It's not 100% fair skin friendly, but it is 50%, which is good enough for me because they perform so well. If they didn't perform as well, I would be disappointed with how little use I get out of the palette, but because the formula in here is so astonishing, I'm perfectly fine with using half the palette for my face and half the palette for my eyes, because honestly speaking, like, I can't use this as eyeshadow. Like, I've tried, it just doesn't really work out for me. It works out for other people, just not for me. I don't think I'm talented enough for that yet. So this palette is very beginner friendly, I would say that. Like I'm nowhere near where some of the other people are on YouTube, so I really expert, beginner, fair, dark, just buy this. It's great. So that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want me to review more products or just test products that you're afraid to test on fair skin tones, just leave me a suggestion down in the comments below. Be sure to check out my Twitter and my Tumblr. Follow me on Snapchat and Instagram. Catch my last video and be sure to subscribe to me. I will see you guys next time.